Welcome back to the Keiser Report. I'm Max Keiser. Time now to go to Sergej Kotliar. He is the CEO and founder of Bitrefill, which is a crypto Bitcoin company. I should, full disclosure, tell you that we are making an investment in this company as it hits the market on Bank to the Future, and we'll be talking a little bit about that. But first, Sergej, welcome.
Thank you.
And I met you at Satoshi Roundtable in February, and we got started talking about Bitrefill. And it's an interesting story because, you know, we've been through what many call the crypto winter. And during that period of time, a lot of companies have had a lot of challenges. Some of them haven't made it through crypto winter. Bitrefill has been busy and growing and expanding and doing really great things. So tell us a little bit about Bitrefill.
What we're trying to do, the vision of Bitcoin was never that it was going to be coins that are sent between exchanges. That in itself is cool, but we're trying to. It's not what nobody here showed up for that. I think we all showed up for a vision of internet money, where billions of people are transacting it, paying each other, getting paid, buying stuff, and so on. And so what Bitrefill does is that we enable people to rely on Bitcoin as money by making sure that they're able to buy whatever they want with their coins.
Yeah, this is interesting because, as you point out, back in the 2011, 12, and 13, it was Bitcoin was going to be the PayPal of, crypto, and it was about being able to use it to buy stuff. And then at around 2016, this idea, actually its best use case is as a store of value. Right. It's digital gold. And you had a lot of dissension in the ranks in the Bitcoin community, in the crypto community. You had hard forks of Bitcoin and people claiming that this is what it's for. It's actually for spending and buying a cup of coffee, et cetera. But what you guys have done is you've kind of like brought it all the way back and said, you know what? The problem is not really that merchants are not accepting this coin so much. It's that we need to make it easier for users to spend their Bitcoin. You kind of looked at the problem in a new way, right. And in so doing, I think have solved, for the most part, this whole Bitcoin used as payments problem. So if I'm not mistaken, it's kind of like you're in the gift card business, if you will, or voucher business. So I think one of your biggest customers is Hotels.com. And so I can essentially go to your site and I can swap my Bitcoin for a voucher on Hotels.com. And when I go to Hotels.com, I can spend Bitcoin, right?
Right.
That's pretty much the bread and butter of the business.
That is the bread and butter, yeah.
And you've got, 1,000 merchants now who are signed up.
Right. And we're expanding quickly. Like right now, we're most of our merchant activities in the US and the UK, but we have a pretty aggressive plan for covering the world with gift card support country by country during the rest of the year. And
Bitrefill essentially takes a fee for the transaction.
In most cases, the gift card that the customer buys from us, even if it's a $100 gift card and it costs $100, but we actually bought it a little bit cheaper than that.
Now let's talk about hodlers for a second. Of course, hodlers, this is the idea that, people are skinflints. They're not spending their money. They want to hold on to it because the price is going higher. I believe if I've read your tweets and your blogs and your comments correctly, what you've noticed is that no matter what the price is, there is a subset of people who want to spend their frickin' Bitcoin.
Right.
And the price could go to 10,000, 100,000, a million. It just means that ratio of people within that subset they're still going to be spenders of Bitcoin. And you've noticed that throughout this bear market, there's still people looking to spend Bitcoin, correct?
Yeah, completely unchanged. In fact, we've grown 3 or 4x during last year. Asking about hodlers and so on is the wrong perspective. And the way we see it is we're looking for people that have coins to spend. And someone who just bought $1,000 worth of Bitcoins on Coinbase as an investment, they're not going to go and buy stuff with it the first thing they do. But so people with coins to spend are people, the simplest example is someone who's getting paid in Bitcoin, right? Their whole salary is in Bitcoin. Guess what? They're going to be spending Bitcoin because that's how life is. You buy stuff with it, right? This is a simplistic example. And there's other cases in the Bitcoin economy, people that are trading, that participate in different programs and affiliate schemes and so on that have earnings that way. But also people, who started out as hodlers, they bought $1,000 of Bitcoins 3-4 years ago, and now it's worth quite a bit. You know what? They also have coins to spend now, and they are suddenly both feeling rich and being rich, and we offer them a great experience to buy things with their coins. And I think looking at it from that perspective is a lot better than trying to resist the question of hodling or not hodling. Like, let people do what they want. Of course, if you think that Bitcoin is going to go up in value and you want to hold it, do it. Like, that's fine.
So there are going to be people that want to spend their Bitcoin, and the price goes up, just means there's going to be more Bitcoin to spend. And so this is a voucher business, or you could call it a gift card business, but not everyone uses it as gifts. But it's structured in that way. Right. And so you are basically have a relationship with all these merchants, and if you want to go spend your Bitcoin at those merchants, you guys at Bitcoin have the way to do it. You get a code for that merchant, you go to their site, tap in the code, boom, and you've just spent your Bitcoin. And also, you have a technique or your strategy, zero confirmations. Just on the technical side, Bitcoin is something where some merchants or some folks will want to wait for 5 or 6 confirmations before they totally accept the payment. You say we've got zero confirmations, which is kind of an innovation in the space, if you will. And speaking of innovations, Sergej, you're such a deep thinker and a technologist and a whiz kid. You have jumped on the Lightning Network.
Yes.
Right away. Right? It's captured the imagination of Bitcoin world. But those in the audience who don't know what Lightning Network is, what is it and how are you using it?
The Lightning Network, very simply, is a way to make Bitcoin transactions fast and cheap and good, sort of, with a nice user experience. And technically, how it's built up, I think it's not as interesting. The important part is that it gives people these benefits. It's what we thought the Bitcoin was all along, but then learned that maybe it wasn't entirely. And Lightning is the technology that was sort of always envisioned, that one day we will have a technology that uses these payment channels to do transactions.
Like Elizabeth Stark, Lightning Network, she says, if I'm going to try to quote her here, I hope I do a good job in doing so. But she says, look, Bitcoin is like the basic protocol of the internet, and on top of the internet where many applications were built, right? So you have Bitcoin is a basic protocol level technology, and on top of that, there will be applications, and to do payments, just do Lightning networks. And that's, reminds me back in the 1990s when I was in the technology business, everyone sat around all day long asking, when is video coming? When is video coming? And then suddenly Flash came with YouTube. And it wasn't necessarily the best technology out there, but it was adopted quite quickly, and it gave people videos finally on the internet. To dig a little bit deeper into what Bitrefill is doing, you've got now what you call the Thor product, and it really became quite prominent during the Lightning Network Trust Chain, or Pound LNT Trust Chain, as torchbearers confronted liquidity issues.
Right.
So now we're going to drop down into a bit of a technical level here.
All right.
But describe your product, the Thor product, and the Lightning Network, and tell us a little bit about that.
The way the Lightning Network works is that there's channels between people. Yeah, and the channels, I think someone explained it as beads on a counting board, right? And so if I open a channel to you, then usually in the beginning the money will be on my side. That means that if I open a channel to you, I can send money to you, but you can't send money to me. Not right away, not until I sent them over to you, right? And this creates a problem, because what if we identified that a big part of creating this circular economy in Bitcoin is for people to be able to earn coins, right? To be able to have earnings, both for big jobs and small jobs and whatever, like to get paid in the coins. And getting paid over Lightning is difficult if you don't have an inbound channel. And so what the Thor product does is that it lets people get a channel opened to them from us. We're one of the most connected nodes on the Lightning Network. We've been always first with all of the new technologies and so on. So it's in a lot of ways it's like an internet service provider, right? If you think of an ISP, it interacts on one end, it interacts with the whole internet, with everything is fast and zooming and so on. but on the other end, it connects to someone's apartment downtown, right? That's similar to what Thor does. It takes the sort of well-connected parts of the Lightning Network and it connects it to your place and to your place and so on.
Okay, so I hear some, maximalists screaming in the faraway land saying, oh, it sounds like centralization versus decentralization. And is that an issue? Is it not an issue? Is it a non-issue?
It's always good to strive for more decentralization. And so the Thor is a non-custodial service. So we don't, once the channel's been set up, we're out of the picture. Like we're a Lightning node, but we're not a custodian of the funds. We're not a money service business. We're not anything like that. So it's still in a lot of ways it's as decentralized as most services in the space are. But obviously we are a company, and the company is by definition a centralized entity, just like every other company in the space.
Right. So now, how much of your business is this Lightning stuff now?
So last month we hit a milestone of 6% of our purchases happening on the Lightning Network.
Okay, but it sounds like something like Netflix was in the CD business first, and then they went streaming. So your primary business is in gift cards, which sounds remarkably lowbrow, but it's a kind of a numbnut solution to a very simple problem. How can people spend their frickin' Bitcoin?
Right.
Right.
Exactly
but you're looking down the path. You're saying, well, Lightning is kind of like going to be our Netflix 0.2 or the next level. Do you think it will be the next thing to come down the pike, and why Lightning and not sidechains like Liquid?
I think Lightning is good enough, and Lightning is the most sort of decentralized solution that we have that scales, and from that perspective, I think Lightning will be enough. But it doesn't really matter even if I'm wrong and it is sidechains that becomes a big thing. Then sure, we'll support that.
How agile are you as a startup? Because that's really an important feature.
We go around saying that we're the best in the world at accepting cryptocurrency payments. So and some people have challenged that, but
the best in the world for accepting cryptocurrency payments. That sounds like a unicorn waiting to happen.
Well, we like to think so.
Well, as an investor, how long before the unicorn thing hits? Because I want to be able to buy Stacy another cup of coffee. All right, you think about that. We're going to say goodbye. But anyway, Sergej, thanks for being on the Keiser Report.
Thank you.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of the Keiser Report with me, Max Keiser, and Stacy Herbert. I'd like to thank our guest, Sergej Kotliar. He's the CEO and founder of Bitrefill. Bitrefill. Yeah, we own shares in the company. If you want to catch us on Twitter, it's Keiser Report. Until next time, bye, y'all.